Yeah, my GPU crashed. And Google Chrome was using 17 gigabytes of RAM. It's unreal. Negotiators marks also add blue screen stacks. Blue screen. What's the name of the talent of blue screen? Disruptor rounds. But it's more like negotiators adds blue screens. Negotiators dilemma. I'm going to put it here instead. Or yeah, I'm going to put it here. Blue screen stacks. Sort all 3 gear spreadsheets. I don't remember what I meant by this. Update skills affected by DTA, out of cover. Oxidizer, Firefly, Demolition. Firefly. Firefly. Demolisher is affected by out of cover damage. Okay. Demolisher Firefly. ETA, ETH, and OCD. Okay, this is done. Add a section about throwing grenades. Pumel affects game charges. Pardon. But is it just the cam launcher or... Oh, we need to test this. And we need to test this in the range. Deflector. Yeah, these are like more extensive additions, so I'll leave them aside for now. Slayer plus sticky turret headshots. What's the name of the talent of a Slayer? Hidden Rock. Sticky. Or sniper turret. Grenades. This is to verify on the range. And then there's a bunch of backlog stuff in here. Okay. So I'm gonna transfer it. Add this to AI behavior. What's the point of tank builds? System is actually where is it? Fuck. Tanks are meant to stay in the open with their shields up and provide bonus armor to the team through talents like Protected Reload, Protector, and Vanguard. In the open, to direct all fire to the tank, ideally, yes. Players in Division 2 have a hidden threat level that makes NPCs target them. Developers stated that proximity and being in the open does influence the amount of threat generated, but the system is mostly hidden to the players. System is actually a lot easier. First target they see, the person that angered them first has the highest priority of attack. If the person with highest priority hides more than 3 seconds, enemies will scan proximity to find the nearest or standing in the open agent. If none were found, they will try to peek from their cover. A lot of tests showed that enemy knows exactly when you point your gun at them, and they will stay in cover until 20 seconds have passed or you look away. Or they decide to change position to make them peek most of the time. Not having the enemy in your FOV for 1-2 seconds will make them peek. If they receive the damage while peeking, they will target the agent which dealt them the most damage while peeking. If they received no damage, they will repeat the scan until find the agent that have their priorities. No matter the source, if this is a turret or a hive, TU10, they will start to shoot the skill. In TU11, it was changed to agent himself. So if the target were a rusher type, which can't make a peek option, they will start to rush to either the closest agent in the open or the target that deals the lowest damage of all party. If enemy saw agent down, the threat moves to the closest agent to down the one. Or the one that tries to pick him back in fights and and vice versa. If enemies saw you kill one of their allies, they will target the one that killed, ignoring the most damage part. AKA, if you stole the Chungus skill that was almost dead, the priority of attack once the Chungus goes down will move to you instead of the one that dealt the most damage. This all was part of the experiment we with our clan were making, so the actual numbers and behavior can vary. We made the result based on the following factions: hyenas, outcasts, cleaners, true sons, rikers. The behavior of other factions, especially robotic ones, they seem to just aggro on the closest agents, can vary. All experiments were made in the heroic open world and done missions based in the enemy faction. Once I wrote this, I don't think that was quite the easier as I thought. I commend the effort of you on your plan. Question, because why not? Say you are in a relatively open area, you got 2 DPS, 1 healer, and a 6 blue foundry bulwark in the middle. DPS 2 deals less DPS than DPS 1. Healer with reformation keeps shooting. Tank sits right in the middle shooting. Say on the other side you have a sniper, a grenadier, a rusher, an assault, a heavy weapons guy like the Outcast one, a rusher, and a Chungus. Who targets whom? I know you cannot be sure. Just what do you expect? It really depends on position. Is anyone in cover? Who is nearest to enemy spawn? But let's take that we have something like this. Sniper is in cover, and Rusher plus Chungus is not in cover. Heavy weapons is in cover with Grenadier, and Assault is not in cover. Sniper almost always will target the agent who kills the most. Since he sees his killed Rusher, for example, Rusher and Outcast Chungus have similar strategies. Attack who saw first or the lowest damage. This is where it really depends, since healer can deal more damage than tank, but let's take into account that healers deal less. But the outcast rusher seems to just target who was nearest to spawn, or absolutely random target in the area. I'm not going to put everything in this post because it's hard to verify. Heavy weapons guy will target the one that deals the most damage to their team. So if DPS 1 will have, for example, Negotiator's Dilemma, heavy weapons will just hate the shit out of the DPS 1 guy and will continue to suppress until he sees someone else deal the most damage to the group that heavy weapons spawned with, or until the target agent comes from more than 120 degree of the previous position. Grenadier, the Molotov one from Outcast, is targeting the one who sits in the cover longest and the nearest one. Range has higher priority. Assault is just assault. He uses the seek or peek strategy, so it will be mostly DPS 1 or 2, the main targets if healer and tank don't touch him. That's it, as we saw, can be wrong since rushers and grenadiers have different strategies depending on the faction, and chunguses have different ones since they have different weapons. Just gonna put this in AI behavior. just gonna say they tend to target the agent dealing the most damage. I'm just gonna mention that how much damage, basically like who they target, is based on who who deals the most damage, who is the closest, and who is in the open, who is visible to them. First target DC. Uh, 2-9. So that's why sometimes when you run into mobs, it doesn't always okay, I'm gonna restart Spotify, hopefully it doesn't crash my GPU. Peak. Um, I don't remember if I put in the section about drone operators the way to make them peak. All right, White Tusk. I put this. I don't know where to put some of this stuff. I credit this guy. The fuck? gonna put like whatever. Why I'm adding them. Blue screen in this.
Ué, esse cara tudo escondido. Meu Deus.
Tô falando, velho. Parece que eles estão lutando olha lá. O que eles estão gritando, velho?
Isso acontece várias vezes. E olha as costas.
Ei, tem gente lá na rua, velho.
Tem, velho.
Aqui.
É isso que eu falei. Que custa pra uma barreira invisível, né? Entendo isso.
Ei,
Vou matar agora, né? Ah, velho, é só pôr uma barreira invisível, velho.
velho, não é possível que tem como subir aqui e ficar matando o povo lá, velho. Aqui.
Tem um cara que fez a primeira parte aqui, ó. Com lançador químico oxidante, ó. Ó. O cara. O cara ficou aqui tacando oxidante, mas. Que isso, véi? Que porra é essa, véi?
Ô, velho.
Que porra é essa? Desde
Essa
quando tem isso?
metralhadora nunca foi usada na vida, velho.
Olha, ele atirando.
Dá pra ficar
É,
aqui em cima?
O cara fez aí em cima, a primeira sala. O cara falou comigo, eu fiz aqui em cima, mó bom.
Quem que falou? Um cara lá.
Muito tempo atrás, nem lembro.
I'm pretty sure your other range
Você não quer um pulso de pen, não? Não, né?
from that tower.
Sei, tanto faz.
Mid. I like what it says
É,
mid DPS, but it's like.
eu acho.
Ah, não, aí?
Eu acho. Não, né?
Fucking yellow, I mean. Shade 1.6k. Where is this bread basket?
Sei, tanto faz.
Eu acho.
Ah, não, aí?
Drone.
Filha da puta! Ele me deu um murro, velho. Eu só morro pra murro nesse jogo, velho. Toda hora eu morro pra murro.
Eu acho. É, ó.
Nossa, eu ainda explodi ela sem querer.
Yeah, they just shot the backpack, therefore probably blowing up the shield of his teammate.
É, ó.
I cannot see.
Nossa, eu ainda explodi ela sem querer na sua cabeça.
Véi, por que eu sou um tanque, véi? Ó, quebrar essa maleta, velho. O tanque tá na maleta. Ó. Vai, rola pra trás de mim.
Ele me empurrou pra fora.
Tô tentando ficar na sua frente, velho, mas. Olha as costas.
Trocando
I like, dude, I like how I mean, he's panicking, but I like how he switches to the pistol and then reloads the AR and then switches to the SMG.
Tô tentando ficar na sua frente, velho, mas. Olha as costas.
I mean, his SMG should be. Yeah, his SMG.
Costas.
Can I check the? I cannot change the speed, but basically here. Notice the reload, like the progress of the reload.
Olha as
It's over half of the reload right now.
costas.
he switches to his pistol. So now his SMG is reloaded. You see it's reloaded. But then he switches to his fucking air. Does he actually reload the air? Yeah, he reloads the air. And then he switches back to the SMG. Like fucking waste of time.
Tô trocando de arma.
Véi, o cara me ignora completamente.
I don't know what he's
Ele
doing.
sabe que eu sou tanque, velho.
Me levanta, me levanta. Vai, 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 vai.
De boa, de vermelhinho.
Yeah, you. This is a hunter or div 1, you're both dead.
O cara sabe que eu sou tanque, velho. Esses caras são retardados.
Anyway, I have done that room duo with same friend multiple times. This was the only time enemies were focusing at me that much. I'm always some kind of a hybrid DPS, and my friend is always a hybrid tank, hybrid DPS or hybrid healer, like this time on the video, or a hybrid DPS. Usually enemies focus on who is doing more damage or at who has the shield and is more exposed. I almost never do this room with a shield, by the way. I don't know which variables are part of the aggro system, but I think they are the damage of the player being exposed out of cover, how close you are to the enemies. If so, then I had the first two variables at my disposal. Also, about the ending, my theory is that he just wanted to finish me. However, he was so close that the behavior of the AI was to punch instead of shooting. There are multiple occasions I encountered where NPCs would run past someone right next to them just to melee or burst down someone else that's behind. But yeah, the more exposed you are, the higher your chance of getting aggro. It's not damage, threat increases per bullet fired with different values for each weapon type. Okay, and how do you know that? Did you or someone tested that? Someone data mined it. I can look for the threat, but it's based on how much you shoot, not your damage output. Oh, thanks for that. I think that is weird. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. It's part of why bulwark shield builds have issues. Pistols have much lower threat values per shot than other guns, plus they shoot slower. If I recall, it was MMRs, rifle, LMGs, ARs, SMGs, and pistols way at the bottom. Don't remember where shotguns were. That makes a lot of sense, unless the shield itself also has a threat based on the shots it is reflecting. It does have threat according to the depths, but I haven't seen any data mining figure out actual numbers yet. So it's more or less based on like the base damage of your gun. But then pistols is like something like an exception because the base damage of pistols, especially regulars, it rivals rifles and some marksman rifles. Based on how much you shoot, not your damage input. And what if you use the 93R, like the full auto pistol? Oh no, it's burst. It's not full auto. It's burst. Yeah, it's the like the Tech 9. I forgot how it's called in Div 2, but the Tech 9 is considered as an SMG in Div 2, but in CS it's a pistol. Unless these are like two different guns, but they really look alike. Based on how much you shoot, not your damage output. Fuck, man. Black dust tank. How much or how long?
Hello Division 2 community. At the start of this year, I one-shot a legendary Black Tusk heavy. I shot him between the red piece, like the backpack sort of area, as you can see on screen. And I decided to look into it more, and I replicated it today, and it seems to have done the same result. Now, I don't know if this has been discovered before, but I've decided that I wanted to get it recorded, and I'm going to post it on like Reddit to allow other people to look into this and then have the potential of being able to one-shot these behemoths in legendary runs or anything like that. This is the build that I was using at the time. I've been using this build pretty much throughout my division runs, as I just enjoy snipers and I find this does the best damage overall. So I'm hoping that this will sort of show any results for anyone who wants to investigate it. I just don't have the time to do stuff like that. So enjoy.
Played this game since launch and didn't know this. The video. Three years later, I'm finally adding this. April 12th, 2022. Black dust tank. Get fucked. Like you always bought for banning those cunts. Black Tusk tank. No armor plate behind the support station. On the black area of a support station. I don't know if it's like descriptive enough to say on has no armor plate on the black area at the sides of a support station.
Today and look into it more, and I replicated it, and like the backpack.
The video is like so compressed that it's the black area, but on the sides, but the top and the bottom is also black. The black area, so like touching his back. Oh, I already put this actually. Shooting the dark side of his support station next to his hip deals damage directly to his health. Hey Booty. Working on what? Well, you just click the link and you'll know. It's what my clanmates call the Bible. Basically, I got fed up. Like a few years ago, I got fed up with like some people asking me over and over, how am I so good at games? So I wrote a fucking document that takes literally 2 hours to read, where I explain everything from, like literally everything. Dark side of a support station. Deals damage. Dark side of a support station. It's not next to his hip, it's the side that is on his back, like facing his back. Okay, so I put this already. This is Scrub Lord. Scrub Lord. I did not put him. Black Dusk. Dark Side. So basically the document looks like this. I'm like editing a lot of stuff, so I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it directly on GitHub, otherwise it would be super slow and I cannot save my changes before pushing a commit. So, like just the glossary, it's like pretty long. But I basically explain, I'm just focusing on shooters. Like I'm not covering any game, otherwise I'm still here until my grandchildren are dead. But basically I divided things into three sections, one for PvE, one for PvP. So one for PvE, and you have 36 concepts that you use every time I play the game. I play any game actually. For PvP, you have 20 of them, and then I focused on the Division 2, where I explain everything I know on Div 2. So there's a lot of stuff. Like basically that's everything I use every time I play games. But it's like it wasn't something I could like just tell you, because it takes too long. Takes too long, and just like most people, I don't like repeating myself. So I just wrote everything down. If people have questions, they can just read. And my goal initially was to make YouTube videos out of those. But it's such a fucking... It's such a gigantic project that I never got to it. Like I started working on this, it was like almost 5 years ago. Like 4 years ago. Yeah. May 3rd. It's been 4 years now. So now it's like super huge. But I added stuff little by little. I did not write everything at once, obviously. Like when I was getting new ideas, I was adding stuff like 1 or 2 concepts at a time. And now that makes it that is long like this. And literally, if you were to read everything, it would literally take you 2 hours. Like literally. Like there's a lot of stuff. But most of it is for Div 2. Like if you don't play Div 2, you can ignore all of this. There's a lot of unfinished stuff. Like there's like it's such a big project that there's a lot of stuff that I'm not entirely sure of. I need to double check. Like I don't like giving out incorrect information. But when I do give you information, I give you everything. And since I know more about, like especially Div 2, I know more about Div 2 than 99.9% of players. There's stuff you won't find anywhere else. Yeah, I'm not going to do everything today. I think I'm going to actually stop right here because like these are changes that are going to take longer. Like for instance, this is just one trick. But one trick, this guy he made a video that took 4 minutes just to show one trick. Do you have any idea how many tricks I put in this? I put like hundreds. I mean, not hundreds, but like dozens. So can you imagine how long it would take me to make videos about every single trick? It's like I don't I don't even want to start. Like this is something I explain sometimes when I play the game, but I'm using it so often that I don't mention it anymore. But it's something that is like if you do play Div 2 one day, it's gonna help you stay alive longer. Where's the part? I don't remember if he explains it at some point. I think he doesn't. No, he doesn't actually explain. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you're a casual, you're not going to understand what he's doing. And my goal with this project is to actually explain. Oh yeah, they got.
You've got your objective.
But basically in Div 2, if I were to explain this, the closer you are to a cover, the more you have chances to shoot into the cover. Like, to properly test this, like your crosshair, in Div 2, your crosshair turns red. Turns red when you shoot on an enemy and it actually hits the enemy. But here, if he were to like get closer to the edge of this bin, there's gonna be a point where the crosshair is gonna turn white. Once it turns white, you're going to be shooting into the cover itself. So what you do is, if you're too close to a cover, like he's probably doing it here, I think. No, he's not doing it. He's not doing it. He's not explaining. But basically, here his character is physically, it's impossible for his character to shoot at this enemy. Why? Because if you look the perspective, this dog here is not in his physical line of sight. Fuck, I forgot the... It's like right now, this character is not visible from this dog, yet he's able to shoot at the dog. Why? Because he stepped away from the cover. If his character were to be like 1 meter away from the cover, all of his bullets would land into the cover itself and he would not be able to shoot the dog. So basically, you walk backwards from the cover until your crosshair becomes red. And then you can shoot at enemies without them shooting back. He doesn't explain. He doesn't explain, but when I will make a video just on this trick, I will explain it like this. And another reason also why I started working on this project is that I Google searched, I searched on YouTube, and every single piece of advice that I find, it's like general advice that is useless. Like, for instance, well, let's look it up. Improve at first person get better at first-person shooters. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch everything. I don't have time. Let's pick this video, for instance. Okay, now let's pick this video. I don't care about the first 2 points.
Clear-cut reason to do rotating for a set of.
Okay, here we're going to pay attention to what he actually says, like what he explains.
Choices, whether that's trying to get to a specific point or objective on the map, rotating for a flank. Don't just sprint to skip. Lock up your ability to fire at the enemy. Again, a gun down is a missed opportunity. Utilize sprinting with a very intentional set of choices, whether that's trying to get to a specific point or objective on the map, rotating for a flank. Don't just sprint to sprint. Make sure there is a clear-cut reason to do so. Number 3, positioning is key. Oftentimes, new players in respawn-based shooters will return to the place of their last death over and over. You experienced FPS players know this all too well because it's very easy to clean up players who are continually trying to get revenge. Stop returning to the place where you last were taken down, and if you're going to engage in that spot, at least approach it from a different flank or a different angle. It can be very tempting to rush right back to that spot because you know that there's action there. However, experienced players are going to predict this, most likely going to know the direction you're coming from if they have a basic knowledge of spawns, and continue to take you out. Don't give the enemy players that free momentum. Utilize all areas of the map and be unpredictable. Smart positioning can overcome poor accuracy, so a lot of times new players will be discouraged saying, I just don't have the accuracy to take down opponents right now. If you are positioned correctly, you can overcome.
Okay. So he talks about positioning. It says use smart positioning. Now my question is, what is smart positioning? He never explains.
Lackluster accuracy if you're in the right place at the right time. This means making smart flanking decisions and not always engaging an opponent
Again, what is a smart flanking decision?
in a way that they're expecting. You see really strong Battle Royale players utilizing this all the time. They will flank extremely well and engage enemies who are unaware of where they're being attacked from over and over again. Number 4, don't charge at enemies in a straight line. It can be very tempting to try and...
So he talked about positioning. But he basically he just said be smart. And that's it. And for me that's the problem about most videos, is that they just mention like general ideas, but they don't actually explain.
I'm sure you know about streamers like Shroud who casually hop on any FPS game.
What were the other keep crosshair at height. Yeah, this is good. Aim, movement, positioning, and we're just going to focus on the last 2.
Movement. Starting off with an easy and simple, underrated tip, auto sprinting. This one saved my pinky finger from cramping, and almost every modern FPS has a sprinting mechanic, whether it's a toggle or hold to sprint.
How is auto sprinting going to make me better at games?
Make sure you have it set up to your preference. Auto sprint
How is it going to allow me to outplay my opponent having auto sprinting?
can be a game changer. Lets you focus more on your movement instead of holding down that shift button. You could even change that sprint key to a hotkey you use a lot, like for example push to talk.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Be unpredictable.
See, I don't remember if I've seen this movie. No, I need to watch this movie.
Ball. What?
Be unpredictable. Strafe, jump, crouch, slide, strafe. In gunfights, being a hard target to hit is just as important as having good aim. Strafing is essential for dodging enemy fire while lining up your own shots. Practice smooth side-to-side movements while locking your aim on a target. Jump to throw off an opponent's aim, or crouch to make yourself a smaller target. That brings us to speed. The faster you can do the previous steps while moving around the map, the more opportunities you create for yourself. Use a combination of jumping, sliding, and abilities or equipment to parkour around enemies and get to the objective first. That brings us to positioning.
Well, he didn't really explain much.
It's all about maximizing your advantages and minimizing your risks.
Okay. Maximizing your advantages, minimizing your risks. It starts really well, but now is he going to explain this? How do you maximize your advantage? How do you minimize your risk when it's about positioning? Is he going to explain something along the lines of only expose yourself from one target at a time, for instance?
It's all about maximizing your advantages and minimizing your risks. It magnifies the effectiveness of both aim and movement. Let's break it down. Cover. Always use the environment to your advantage. Stay in your cover so you can pop out while minimizing the chance of getting hit. Whether it's a wall, a box, or any type of cover, use it or try to create your own. Communication. Good communication with your teammates can make the difference.
Yeah, this was actually useful information. Using cover.
Information about enemy positions and strategize your moves. Keep a reasonable distance so your teammates or yourself are never left to fight alone. Support. Don't just focus on getting kills. Understand your role. Are you playing a supportive character? Make sure you provide the necessary support to your team, whether it's healing, placing down barriers, getting the assists, or giving intel. Last but not least, map knowledge. Master the map,
Map knowledge.
or at least the high impact areas and common choke points. This gives you an edge in aim and movement, since you can predict where enemies will be and control critical routes.
So you explained one good thing about positioning, but there are like so many things, so many other things he could have mentioned.
Both aim and movement.
Like, I'm gonna give you one example. Let's say I'm gonna give you one example. Just rewind
And
like here. All right. So let's say you have, let's say you are, let's say you are here. All right. You are in this bush. There is one enemy at the top of these stairs. There is one enemy on this roof here. Something about positioning that a lot of people do not understand. It doesn't matter how many hours they have. They can have literally 10,000 hours on CS2. I've seen people who have no fucking clue how to play the game. It's like something really simple. I'm not talking about like advanced concepts or anything. But you have one enemy here, one enemy here. Let's pretend, for the sake of this example, that you know. Well, even if you don't know where they are, all right. Let's say you don't know where enemies are. So you're here. You have two options. Something that a lot of people will do, like most people will actually do, is to go to this area. They're gonna go stay close to this wall. So like take the inner lane. And then they reach this corner. So they're exposed. But the problem is that because they choose to pick this area from this corner here, they reach this area, this location. The problem is that once they are past this corner, they're exposed not only from this guy, but from this guy as well. Actually, I'm gonna fucking... No, I meant to fucking print screen. Oh fuck, he did not print screen. I have to find this video again. Improve, get better shooters. Improve at shooters. How to improve at shooter games.
I'm sure you know about streamers like Shroud who casually hop on any FPS game. That brings us to positioning. It's all about maximizing your advantages and minimizing risks. It magnifies the effectiveness of both aim and...
Okay, print screen. Okay, I don't need this anymore. So, like I said, you are here. That's you. Yeah, one guy here. One guy here. Enemy 1. Enemy 2. So let's say you peek from here. From here, you're exposed from this guy and this guy. Excuse my drawing abilities, I suck. But basically, because you chose to expose yourself here, you expose yourself from two enemies at once. It doesn't matter whether you knew where they were or not. So now you're in a 2v1 situation, and there is another principle that says strength in numbers. If you're in a 2v1 situation, you are like statistically speaking, you are unlikely to win the engagement, to kill both players. Unless these are like two players of inferior skill to yours, or that they're not looking in that direction or whatever. Like you can have like exceptions and stuff and luck. But let's say these two players are looking at this corner. The moment you pick, you will at least 90% of the time, you will not be able to kill both of them. Because you chose to pick like a noob. So what you can do instead is to move away from the okay, it's not a good example because I'm too close to the corner actually. But let's say you choose to pick away from the corner. You pick away from the corner. You see this guy. You see this guy. You stop strafing in that direction, because if you keep strafing, this guy is gonna see you. If you keep going here, this guy is gonna see you as well. But because you chose to pick away from the corner, you create a 1v1 situation. So now it's a fair fight. It's a fair fight. If you kill this guy, you can keep picking. And now you have another 1v1. So basically, just because of the way you decided to pick at this corner, you drastically improved your chances of survival, your chances of winning 2 engagements versus 2 1v1s versus 1 1v2. And again, that's just a tiny example. This is mostly for like something that applies to PvP, but it applies to PvE as well. I use it all the time. Even though I'm not mentioning it, I use it all the fucking time. So basically, if you watch me, like, dude, I could watch the VOD from earlier. You'll see that I'm slicing the pie. Where was it? Must have been before. Yeah, to find yeah, it's in previous area. Gonna be here, I think. So you are forcing 1v1 basically. Yep. Yeah, here I think it's a good example. So basically, I reach, let me remove this. I reach this piece of vertical cover. I insist, vertical cover. Quality, 1080p. What do I mean by vertical cover? Low cover, vertical cover. Vertical cover is a piece of cover that is at least the height of your character. And in any game, you should prioritize vertical covers. Okay, so I reach this vertical cover. And then what am I doing here? Okay, you're gonna say, oh, but you're exposing yourself from 2 targets at once. I mean, I could have guessed that I don't have the aggro of this mini tank, so I can afford picking like this. So I target this. No, I do have the aggro, so I take cover. And then I expose myself just from 1 target at a time. You'll notice on the right side here, you don't have targets. This guy is not looking at me. I'm not exposed from the mini tank here, even though like I'm physically visible from the mini tank. For Div 2, because I'm using a vertical cover, the way I'm picking, yeah, the mini tank is not gonna shoot me. Now this guy is in my line of sight. Instantly, I reset my positioning. Like here, I'm slicing the pie. If you were shooting at someone, so I'm shooting here, and a target shows up on the edge of my screen. I was slicing the pie, so like slicing the pie means it's a technique that is used in military. Slicing the pie is you go from one side to the other. You kill, you kill, you kill, you kill, you kill. Obviously, you're going to ignore targets that are not visible to you or that are not targeting you. So I chose to shoot at the heavy because if you look at the positioning of my teammates, most of the time that heavy is causing problems to people, to most players. So I just wanted to at least shoot the back, destroy the backpack to help them. Here he shows up on the edge of my screen. It's a medic, so like it doesn't matter who it is. I am resetting my positioning. I am no longer targeting this guy. Now I'm gonna focus on the edge of my screen. And once I take care of this, I'm gonna assess whether I should be shooting this target. If I don't need to shoot it because it's out of my line of sight, I switch to the next target. If it's in my line of sight, I shoot it. Otherwise, I skip to the next one, rinse and repeat. Okay? So now it's dead. Next target, this one. No, it's dead. Next target. Next target could be this one, but like he hasn't been targeting me for like fucking 10 seconds at least. Here, I am assessing that I will not out damage the heal from the station. Like usually this is like when you're like at medium or long range, most of the time you will not out damage the healing of the station. So what you should be doing is focusing on robotics, because robotics are not able to be healed by the station. Here, I pay attention to my radar. There is something on this side apparently. I didn't see that. I did not see that dog immediately. I don't know where it came from actually. But look, here I was fine. Here I was fine. Now it switches to my very left. Switches to my left. I check my radar, I check my left. And once again, like here, I'm only exposed from this dog. There is no one on my right side that is able to shoot me right now. Like I said, I did not see the dog right away. I was just like looking for the target, but like he was not moving. The dog was not moving. So now there is this guy. This guy is gonna be priority number 1. Because remember, slicing the pie. Slicing the pie and exposing yourself just from one target at a time. Here I'm taking damage. And because this guy is shocked, he's no longer going to be visible. So there's no point staying here. Especially since the dog is pushing me. Like as soon as I'm getting shot, there's no point staying here. Because by the time this guy is gonna stand back up from the shock, I'm gonna take unnecessary damage from the dog. There is no fucking way I'm like going to like kill the dog or like shoot the weak points at this distance, considering it's moving. Like you can see there's a lot of stuff going on, even though I'm not saying anything when I'm playing. So no, I choose, because I am using a very good piece of cover, I choose to focus on the other side. This is only doable when using a vertical cover. And luckily, in this case, you actually have 2 vertical covers on 2 sides. So now I focus on my leftmost target. The heavy is reloading, I think. Here you'll notice this guy decided to roll. He's my leftmost target. Then he decides to roll. Therefore, right now, he's my second leftmost target. And the principle of slicing the pie is that you always attack the targets that is on the edge. Unless you have like some special cases where like the enemy is not looking at you, or the enemy is staggered or something. Or let's say it's a dog, but the dog is EMP'd. Obviously, you're going to focus on this guy if this was a dog that was EMP'd. But in this case, it's a heavy that is directly looking at me. So this guy, I will not finish him off. Because if I finish him off, I'm exposing myself from this heavy, I'm gonna take damage. Now this dog comes in my line of sight. He's actually hitting me right now. So I stop shooting at the heavy. And there's no point to focus that dog because he's going to go out of my line of sight in this case. and I'm unlikely to shoot the weak points. So I'm just gonna take cover from these 3 guys on my left. Focus on this guy again. Again, we reset slicing the pie. Look at them all. Now this guy is dead. Switch to another target. Here, can I get a line of sight on this guy? No, I can't. If I wanted to get a line of sight on the dog, I would need to walk backwards from the cover. But walking backwards could expose myself from other targets. Like here, I was not paying attention to what was in the middle. Look at them all outside the room. Like here, I'm trying to like back off, but that would expose myself. Then I check what's on my right side. It's clear because that mini tank has been out of my line of sight the entire time because the controller is dead. So now what I can do is, because I don't have like a proper line of sight on the dog, I can focus on the heavy. Once again, I am not exposed from the dog. I focus on the heavy. I kill the heavy. I kill the heavy. Next targets. Here, I can take advantage of the fact they haven't come down the chopper on both sides yet, so I can just DPS the dog. But I will not finish off the dog. Like I would have needed like another clip, and I don't have time to empty another clip because they're coming down. Slicing the pie. Here I chose to shoot the first target on the ground because I have like a hard time tracking vertically. So I just shoot her. She's dead. Next target on the edge. Also because there is also another strategy that I use in Div 2. In Div 2 you have like various ways to approach areas. Either you kill the weakest enemies first. This way you have to deal with less enemies at once, which is what I chose here. Like here, if I had focused on the heavy, this guy would have like, he could have climbed here and shoot me, flush me out of my location. He could have shot me while moving sideways here, but I am never going to kill that heavy before this guy starts shooting at me. So I choose to kill him first because he's weak compared to these 2 targets. So I kill him. That dog is moving to my left. So if I stay where I am, I'm going to be exposed and get shot from the dog. Focus on the next side, the other side. The only guy in my line of sight is this guy. This guy's about to climb. But like this guy, even though he's my rightmost target, I don't have line of sight. And once again, the principle of slicing the pie is that you shoot at whoever is on your rightmost side or leftmost side that is in your line of sight. So logically is the medic. No, he's no longer in my line of sight, but this guy is visible now. This guy is going into cover. I am very unlikely to kill him before he gets into cover. So I just choose the weakest target. Once again, weakest target. Between these 2, it's most likely the purple. I made a choice. But you see, like these decisions they happen very quickly. Like here, I noticed that this guy was getting shocked. This guy was getting shocked, so I took advantage of the shock. He was still in my line of sight. We reset the pie. Pick the rightmost target. As soon as he's dead, next target. Get shot from the left, but the guy is low HP. I might as well just finish him off. Here I shoot the legs to bypass the. I shoot the legs to bypass the armor plates. But notice here that I never expose myself from this heavy the entire time. The entire time. So we see that this heavy here. But because I'm using vertical cover, I'm fighting these two guys, and then I'm fighting the dog. But I am never exposing myself from this heavy at any given time. Like we see the heavy on the edge of the screen here, but like I know pretty much where he is. But the goal, and it's even more important when you play PvP, the goal is to fight people from cover. You need to have a vertical cover between you and other enemies, so that you can create 1v1 or 1v2 situations. Because if I were fighting in front of that yellow line here, I would be exposed from the heavy, and I would have died like 5 times. And this, I stress it, but it's super fucking important in PvP. That's why when I'm complaining about conflict that people don't know how to play the game, sometimes that's why I'm complaining. Because I see it every fucking game where people expose themselves from the entire enemy team when they could be playing from a vertical cover like this and pick them one by one. Like the TTK in Div 2, especially in PvP, it's really low. Like you die super fast. So the more things you use to improve your survival, the better. So now he's the only target left because the other ones are spawning outside of the area. And what pisses me off is that what makes me laugh is that the entire time this mini tank went untouched. Like my 2 teammates, like there's still one guy that is outside the area. Look how long it took. So I reached this location. It was at, let's say, 8:16. I reached this location. It's 8:16. My teammates are fighting like at the entrance. 8:16. They are still outside. This guy tries to push a bit, but like these two guys are still outside. Still outside. Outside. Outside, this guy starts pushing. This guy pushed. The rest is still outside. Now I start shooting at the fucking mini tank. Like, yeah, there's one of them that pushed. Yeah, one of them is like close to me right now. Can hear the backfire. Okay, so 8:16. 8:17:24. Okay, let's say 8:17:30. They reach my location. You have only the heavy left. There's only the heavy and the mini tank in their line of sight. 8:17:27. This guy is still outside the room. And that mini tank is still untouched. The fact that this is still alive is mind-blowing. Like, sometimes you have to wonder what the fuck are people doing, because this mini tank has been sitting there for the past 2 minutes. And I'm gonna tell you how long it's been sitting there, because I killed the controller at the very beginning. $15.43. $15.43. By the time I start shooting at the mini tank, two whole fucking minutes have passed. There is not a single agent that shot it. 2 fucking minutes. What did you do during 2 minutes? But yeah, I just wanted to like show you the 1v1 thing I was talking about. That the guy in the video that we saw was not explaining. You have to think about games in terms of perspective. And actually, like, picking the inner corner is bad for two. I mean, it does have a purpose picking the inner corner, but you have to do it correctly. But picking the inner corner is bad for 2 reasons. Is that every corner in every room in every game needs to be cleared, and you need to clear it ideally progressively. You cannot do that when you pick from inside, from like close to the wall like this. Because when you pick close to the wall like this, your brain, unless you're a fucking cat, unless you're a cat and you have reaction, like insane reaction time, cats actually can dodge snakes that are trying to bite them. Like you may know that a snake, when it's trying to bite, it's really fucking fast. Cats, they can dodge it. Like they have insane reaction times. Anyway, unless you're a cat, if you peek that corner from the inside, like a human brain is gonna take more or less 1 second to react to an unforeseen information. If you're waiting for something, a human being is going to take 250 milliseconds to react. Let's say you're holding an angle. By holding an angle is, let's say in real life, I have a gun. There is my entrance door in the back. Let's say I'm pointing my gun at the door. There is someone that comes barging through the door. I'm gonna take 250 milliseconds before I press the trigger. But I knew someone was coming. If I don't know that a person is coming and I'm looking at the door, it's gonna take me at least a second to react. So based on this, you pick that corner. But you have, let's say you have no information of where enemies are. You pick that corner, you have 2 enemies. You're gonna take 1 second to react. Let's say one of these 2 enemies is holding that angle, so watching that corner. 250 milliseconds. Who's gonna shoot first? The enemy, obviously. So you shoot yourself in the foot based on your reaction time, your lack of information, unless you already know where they are. That's another story, because when you know where they are, then it's less than a second because you already have the information. You may not know exactly where they are, but you know there is someone around this corner. The other problem of being here is that you commit to this location. By commit means once you're here, you cannot go back. Once you're here, you cannot go back. You have to fight or you die. But if you peek from here, you expose yourself just from this guy, you can fall back if needed. Because you're gonna take less damage than fighting these 2 guys at once. Like here in this case, it's overcommitting. Like overcommitting means you pushed somewhere where you should not have pushed, because you're going to be at a disadvantage. Same thing when I say, like sometimes I mention overpeaking means I'm exposing myself more than I should. Like in Div 2, you have like instances where I have a teammate that is right in front of me, even though, like, let's say I was near a corner. Let's say I was near a corner. So let's say I was here. But then there's a teammate that decides to slide right in front of me here. Therefore, if I want to shoot at this guy, I have to move to the side to shoot. Therefore, I'm exposing myself more than what should be necessary because of my teammates. Therefore, I am overpeaking. You don't want to overpeak. But this, you have no control over this. Like sometimes people are just dumb and they don't think in terms of perspective. They just think about like what is on their screen. They don't think about the space that their character occupies within the 3D world of the game. Oh, I'm standing here. Am I hiding the line of sight from my teammates? No, I don't know. I don't have the information because I'm a casual and I only focus about what's on my screen. I don't focus about what's behind me. It's as if you were driving a car, but you never worry about what's behind you, only what's in front of you. That's not how you drive a car. You drive a car, you have to look in your mirrors, your side mirrors, your mirror in the center. When you go backwards, when you reverse, you have to physically look behind you. Like you look in your mirrors, you look physically behind you when you go backwards. Sometimes you look at the rear camera if you have one. And another thing is that this is more about perspective than positioning. If you peek from here, this guy, he's going to see your shoulder, your arm, before you can actually see theirs. And this is caused by the distance from the corner. It's simple physics. You're here, your distance from the corner, let's say it's 1 unit. But this guy is at the distance of, let's say, 5 units. So here is gonna be a game of who is the furthest away from the corner, who has the most units away from the corner. And it's going to dictate who is gonna see the other one first. So this is another reason why you should not pick a corner from inside. There is one exception though. It's when you jiggle peek. So when you jiggle peek is basically you strafe sideways around the corner. So once again, you're here. And you go left and right. Usually you're going to do this only once. You're here. Basically what you want to do is you're going to go like this. And then you fall back. But on the same line, obviously. And this is gonna get you what? Information. Information in any game. Again, when I say any game, I'm just talking about shooters. Like I said, I'm not going to cover RPGs or like point and clicks or anything else. Like they are like different strategies. But that's pretty much the only exception where you want to pick a corner from the inside. You get information. Let's say you jiggle peek here. So you stutter step once. You see someone. You see this guy. You see this guy. Now you have information of where they are. You can communicate this to your teammates. And you can re-peek accordingly. In this case, what I would do is back away from the corner and then peek away from the corner to get a 1v1 with this guy. And this, I was able to do it because I got information. Like this, you should only do it to get information. I'm talking about PvP. In PvE, you will see me jiggle peek a lot when I play Half-Life 1 mods, for instance. Well, Half-Life mods in general. I mean, I pretty much do it in any game, but mostly Half-Life games. I don't know if I can find like an example of this. If we take a look at one of my recent VODs, so let's say timeline, or even like the mod I was playing earlier. No, I don't think I jiggle peeked. Hey everyone, good morning. Like here, I jiggle peek on the inside of the corner. But it's because there is like something about Half-Life is that they don't have instant reaction time, so you can abuse the jiggle peeking to get some shots off without them having time to shoot you back. Like here, look, it's exactly what I explained. Here, I don't have information of where the enemy is. So I get one jiggle peek. First jiggle peek is just to get information. That first jiggle peek is to get information. And then I re-peek to shoot. Like it sounds like fucking like it may sound like simple or normal, but this is pretty much what I spent minutes explaining. And I'm using it all the time. Let's see if we can find another example of this. Think human. You know, these levels, it's not a good example. No, it's not a good example. Part below the veil of peace. The twist. This mod is not a good example. Maybe I did it at the beginning. What's this? Look, like here I sort of did it. But I jiggle picked twice. I mean, it was not properly made. Like here, it has like less consequences than playing PvP. It's like when I play mods, I don't need to try hard. So it's fine. You can make like minor mistakes. It's forgiving. No, this mod is not a good example. I would need to check another mod. There are words, they tell me nothing. But look, I'm picking away from the corner. That's what I'm saying. Because the problem is that if you cannot control your movement, I mean, you would have to be walking. You control how fast you clear this hallway. By staying away from the corner, you have like more control of how much new stuff you see at once. Remember that your brain, like the human brain, can only process a limited number of information. So the easier you make it on your brain, the more you will survive. The more your chances of winning an engagement or surviving will be. So you pick away from the corner, you have less information that comes into your brain at once. Whereas if I were to pick that corner, my brain would have to process the information about everything I'm seeing out at once. But because I'm away from the corner, I can process bit by bit. Here, if there had been an enemy, I would have stopped. Let's say there is an enemy here, like at this green door. There is an enemy at this green door. I would have stopped basically here, right where I'm standing. And where I stop, I am not exposed to anything that is beyond that door. Whereas if I had peeked from the inner side, let's say I stop here, I see this guy in PvP. Just by being here, I would be exposed from the entire fucking road. Like here, okay. Here I just did what I should not have done. But I mean, I'm not going to fucking try hard. It's like Half-Life 1. Enemies, they have inaccuracy, they have a big reaction time, so it's fine. I'm doing it for this corner, but for the other corner, I try to clear it progressively. Roughly. Once again, it depends on the situation. If you play CS2, you'd better gradually clear your corners like this. I mean, it's not even properly done for CS2. But do not ever do this for CS2. Do not ever do this. You're gonna die, man. But like here, I'm trying to like more or less gradually clear the corner. You'll notice my crosshair is always a bit away from the wall, but always sticking to the wall. Like your crosshair should not be here. It 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 should be at head level, sticking to the wall all the time in any fucking game. But yeah, it just illustrates like a couple of points I talked about for the past hour now. So imagine once I make all the videos, how long it's gonna take. That's why I'm not doing them, because it would take forever. Anyway, I'm going to get off. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Booty. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Batasi. Thank you, Strishnin. I appreciate it. Have a nice day. Peace. Take care.